This proportion formula is extremely useful when you're trying to find changes in price, when you're trying to find what percent a change in price is. For example, maybe you are shopping for a car and you are looking at two particular Ford dealerships, same exact car, same make, model, everything, okay? And you go to Ford dealership 1 and they say, I am giving you 25% off of the list price, which is $10,000. The other shop says, I am taking $1,000 off of the list price, which is $10,000. You might be able to use this to verify which one's a better deal. I made a really easy problem clearly just to explain it, but thinking this way oftentimes allows you to compare similar deals but different data given. Like if one of them tells you what percent they're reducing it and the other one tells you what amount they're reducing it, you're better able to determine which one is making a better deal with you. Okay, so example 1, my friend Jasmine, and this is on page 315. Make sure you're copying all this. The original price of a car was $10,000. It is now on sale for $89.99. So if we started at 10 grand and it's now on sale for $89.99 and they ask, what is the change? Well, you're going to say, obviously, there is a decrease of $1,001, right? Everybody knows the price got smaller, therefore it is a decrease. Okay, I know this seems quite simple, but I want to make sure you're clear on this. In contrast, Jerry used to pay $600 a month. He now pays $650, and the change, well, I don't even want to look at it that way. The change is $50, and it is an increase, right? Was $600, now is $650. Okay? So his price increased. Okay? So increase goes up, decrease goes down. The price of gas right now, a couple weeks back it was $1.87. Now it's $2.18. So it's increased in price by 31 cents. Example 2, here's where we actually start to use this data. And if you're out saxophone shopping, this scenario might be the one for you. Mrs. Marchkitis plays the sax. To attract business, the manager of musical manager of a musical instrument store decreased the price of an alto sax from $500 to $440. What is the percent of decrease? So they're asking for percent of decrease. Okay, so let's fill in the data that we know. The solution formula is percent of change over 100 is equivalent to the change in price over the original, right? Those are the 4 fields that we're discussing. Do we know the percent of change? No, that's what we're searching for. Very good. So we're going to call that X. Since the percent of change is what we're searching for, we will assign that with a variable. We know it's over 100 because they told us it's over 100. Do we know the change, or can we get the change with the data they've given us? Yes. Was, is. So the reduction is $60, right? The change is $60. What's the original? 500. Bravo. Using the equivalent ratio process, cross-multiplying, because equivalent ratios have to also have equivalent cross products. 500x is equal to 6,000. So x is equal to 12. Okay? Solving this way, you can simply plug a percentage sign in. Okay? The answer is it was a 12% change. Flip over to the next page. Flip over to the next page. Some of you are going to look at this and go, oh, well, this doesn't fit at all. This doesn't work with what you just shared. We're going to make it work. Do not worry. Ricardo paid 27 bucks for membership. That was an increase of 8%. What is the price of membership last year? Oh, boy. Let's describe the scenario. And what are they looking for? What does the last sentence say they're looking for? That is what they're looking for. So let's recreate our scenario. Percentage change over 100 is equivalent to change dollar amount, again, over original dollar amount. Okay? Same as here, I just didn't write the dollar amount. What pieces of data can we plug in? We can plug in the fact that we know that the change percent is equivalent to 8%. So I have my left side data. Change in original, well, for Pete's sake, I don't know my original, do I? But I do know something about the values. It said he paid 27 bucks this year. Okay, it said he paid $27 last year. Okay, so, or this year, I'm sorry, but we don't know what last year is. So if we don't know what last year is, we can call last year X. Okay, and if we know 27 bucks is this year, we know that 27 minus X is going to be the change. Look at it this way. If last year it was 20 bucks, pretend that, okay? This is just a pretend scenario. Then 27 minus 20 is going to produce the change, right? And that is exactly what is supposed to fit here. Change, original, okay? Again, that was just a supposition here, just trying to help you picture why it's this. They tell you that what he paid this year is 27 bucks. We don't know what he paid last year, but if we remove what he paid last year, we have the change. Okay, we can cross multiply everything. 8 times x is 8x. 100 times 27 is 2700. 100 times negative x is negative 100x. So far, so good. I would add my 100x over. Keeping your x values positive makes it easier to work with. 108x is 2700. Dividing by 108, x is equal to 25. X is equal to 25. X represents the denominator in the right-hand fraction. X represents the original dollar amount. Is that what they want? Think it through. I can't help you if you don't think it through. Look at what they're asking. Original cost of membership last year. X represents original cost of membership last year. Is X our answer then? Yes. Now let me ask you this. Could you figure out what the change is? How? Ben, how could you figure out the change? The change in cost, utilizing X. So what would the change be if I asked you? Yep, $2. For whatever it's worth, it increased by $2. Okay? Last thing. Last thing. There's a short gray box, and it says this: the dollar amount invested, so put in a savings account, multiplied by annual interest rate, gives you what's called the annual simple interest. Okay, to clarify what they're saying here is this is what you put in savings or you put into the account. Some of you might have CDs already. Maybe you're not, I don't mean musical CDs, but a CD is a way to save money. The annual interest percentage is the percent the bank pays you for the privilege of having your money. Okay, because don't think it's sitting there in a box. They're using it. The result, when those two items are multiplied, is the amount of dollars that you receive. Okay, so something like this might be, let's just say $1,000 gets invested. Okay, and the bank is willing to pay you 4% annually for the privilege. That's, by the way, completely out of the league. It would be nice if it were.
Yeah.
Okay? Then what you'll receive at the end of the year is the product of 1,000 and 0.04 for the privilege of them using your money. Sadly, they're not quite paying that much these days. So if you ignore that money all year long, after 1 year, you have a whopping 1040. Okay? That is what this data is allowing us to understand. Now, example 4 is a little bit of a jump. Do this with me. Copy it with me. Participate. Here we go. Sheila invested part of $6,000 at 6% and the rest at 11%. Her total annual income is $460 as a result. How much was invested at each interest rate? This is no joke. When your parents work on their retirement things, we can decide how much to place in each one, and you might think, well, why wouldn't you just put everything in the largest paying one? Well, in retirement funds, those are oftentimes the ones that also have a potential to lose. Okay, so that's why one would make a decision potentially, but in this case, this is clear cut. She's going to make 6%, she's going to make 11%. So they make a chart. There's a 6% chunk of money that was invested, and there is an 11% chunk of money that was invested. Okay? How much did she invest in each? We do not know, but we do know the total. So if one of them is X, knowing the total is 6,000, the other one is 6,000 minus X. We've done this a bunch of times, and I know some of you still struggle with how this works. Test it. Test it then. Apply a number to the 6%. Let's say the 6% is $200. Then 6,000 minus 200 is $5,800. is the sum of 200 and 5,800 6 grand? Yes, it is. Okay? So this is the amount invested. Please don't check out. Okay? The amount invested, that was that first piece, multiplied by the annual interest rate. Since they told us the annual interest rate, you're going to convert both of those to their corresponding decimals. Okay? And the result is the interest. Okay? The result is the interest. So let's multiply x times 600 is 600 x. We know nothing. All we know is it's 600 x. The product of 1100 and 6,000 minus x is the product of 1100 and 6,000 minus x. These two pieces of data combined give us the amount of interest earned. Do we know the amount of interest earned? Yep, 460 bucks. So if I combined what Sheila earned here with what Sheila earned here, I know what we obtain. The rest of the solution is pretty simple. Depending upon how you like to do this, you can distribute, boom, boom, or you can use what we learned the other day, and that was clear the decimal. Since there are two positions in the decimal, we're going to multiply by 100. And it'll look like this. 100 times 0.06x added to 100 times 0.11 times 6,000 minus x equals 400 times 460. Move decimal over two positions, 6x. Move decimal over two positions, 11 times 6,000 minus x. Move decimal over two positions. Okay? If you don't like to use that technique and you choose to simply work it as a decimal, that's fine. There's just more opportunity for error. After you distribute your 11 over the 6,000, you should have 66,000. And solving from here shouldn't be too hard. The combination of these two items is negative 5x. Subtracting 66,000 over gives you a negative 20,000. You're like, well, how am I going to come up with a positive number? A negative divided by a negative is a positive. What does that tell us? What does x represent? The 6%. He, at 6%, invested 4 grand. And he, at 11%, invested 6,000 minus 4,000, which is how much? Yep. Okay. So if you just tell me 4,000, it's going to get marked wrong because you didn't answer the question. One of the hugest errors I'm still seeing is you guys don't read the questions and answer them. You give me some piece of data that you solved, but you don't utilize it.